Welcome back to Crit Couch, and this grumpy POS right here is staring at us very very pissedly. No.
And I'm Skylar. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah. Okay, so before we actually go into his stage, because he's the final boss, but as with all Mega Man games, there's multiple stages that you have to go through before you actually get to him. But we want to go around and collect all of the stuff we missed.
Can you go back to him really quick?
Yeah.
Which eye do I look at to make it not rude? Okay.
The one
he doesn't have two nostrils. He only has one.
Oh my God, you're right. Like somebody just forgot to give him a nose. That's why he's so pissed the whole time. He doesn't actually have a nose.
Okay, so there's stuff
okay. So we got
collect.
the tank and the heart from him, and we got the Buster upgrade. We got the heart tank from him.
Wait, I remember this. It's the level. Was it the armadillo level? We couldn't get the E-tank.
No, that was Mandrill.
Fucked it up.
But we also there was something I pointed out back in this
the
stage.
bunny shoots out of his ears.
Like that's the same response when like a kid sees a bunny, like ooh a bunny, except you're like ooh a death bunny.
Well,
the bunny attacks
let
you.
him do it real quick. I would buy a death bunny as like home security.
You come home and your family's just dead, and there's this little rabbit just sitting on the floor looking all innocent and shit. You're like, well,
oh shit, I forgot to tell him about the bunny.
I bought the death bunny.
This is what I get. They should have called first, really. This is kind of on them.
You rationalize that however you need.
Look, you gotta know. You don't just surprise people. What is going on here?
I think the.
Oh man, wait, hold on. Well,
what's it?
The music.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of like kind of guitarish sounding riffs.
Yeah.
Like Storm Eagle is like probably one of the more popular ones. I'm a huge fan of Zero's theme, which we haven't stopped to listen to. And actually, I'm surprised that there aren't more like covers of it on YouTube or whatever, just because it is such a rockin' theme.
Oh right, you've got to get up there to be able to break the thing.
Yeah, and so. You know, you've got a lot of options to kind of try and figure out what you're supposed to do with these. Do you want to guess what you have to use on it?
I do. I'm just... Is it the missile? It's not the missile, is it? Is it the fire?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that took all of a second.
There's another one, but there's just like a little doodad in it.
So do you have to beat the penguin again?
No.
Oh.
They've got this option called escape, whatever that is. I don't actually know what the...
It's either a V or a U.
Yeah, right. Okay, so there's that heart tank.
Escape varsity team.
We got the heart tank in the octopus level. We got the heart tank there. We got the heart tank there. We got... I think we just have... I think we might have all the heart tanks. Actually, there's a way to check. I'm pretty sure. Yep, pretty sure that's got all the heart tanks.
Oh, because it's supposed to be like
it's two.
Favorite robot. He gets so grumpy when he does a squat.
I don't think I got the heart tank in this level. I did not.
Okay. Come go get your bit out. It's my turn.
Squat.
You know, it's funny that what. Well, okay, Zelda.
The interesting thing about that one is like, you throw the boomerang and like there's a little bit of a weirdness to figuring out that you need to jump to make the arc carry around in the other direction, because otherwise that arc completely misses when it comes back to you. Because like when you throw it from your feet on the ground, it's already going to arc up.
So you do a lot. I'm all right. You do. So it does a lot of like. We were talking about the very first episode. It does a lot of like mandatory teaching.
Oof. What the? That one took a delay.
Yeah. It does a lot of sort of like either you're gonna learn it or you're gonna just stop here, basically.
Yeah, to a degree.
It kind of takes the training wheels off too.
Yeah, and that's kind of an interesting thing. Like, there's an interesting thing I think with this type of game in general, in that, like, you know, Metroidvania comes up as a series. It's like, or as a genre that's really popular now, and that all kind of started with.
Is this technically Metroidvania?
No, and I mean. So genre as a discussion is really strange, and this is going to come up in other videos for sure, because, I mean, especially where... I said, that happens to me enough that, like, I'm actually, some of those I'm planning. At Death last time I didn't plan that one. I was like, didn't fire off. But so, genre... Oh, that worked.
It's me, Liquid Guy.
Metroidvania is weird because, like, the combo of the two, of, like, Castlevania and Metroid, they were really very distant from each other at the beginning. Like, you couldn't backtrack through Castlevanias originally, and
Metroid, you had to run all over the fucking place.
yeah, and it actually lacked, especially the original Metroid, lacked some of the kind of definiteness and interesting level design of
It's a Super Metroid, right? It was on the
Super Metroid was Super Nintendo, yeah, but it lacks some of the definiteness that you got out of God, brain, come on, of
It's
Castlevania.
Hard.
Jesus. Well, I'm also trying to remember, like, where the heart tank is that I've missed, because I'm pretty sure it's this one. But so, like, the fact that the fusion of them is kind of remembered in the way it is strange. And that's largely a factor of Symphony of the Night in 1998, kind of instantiating what that was. But it was really more that, like, you take the RPG elements and tack them on. It's over here. That's right. And there we go. Heart tank. Okay, so now we go do something special.
And I used fucking bail. Could
But
you fight the boss again?
no, the bosses are gone. But so, like, the idea of what a Metroidvania is like really highly influenced conceptually by Symphony of the Night. And so when people use Metroidvania, like, they're talking typically about kind of a weird, big, open space, but there's usually RPG elements involved with it. And honestly, I would say the platform, some modern games, stuff like Hollow Knight or whatever, I think kind of try and readapt that concept a bit. They try and bring some more of the platforming back into it. We're collecting 1-ups for a reason, which I'll show you in a moment. There's a fat bat.
It's me, Fat Bat.
I'm Fat Man. But
Does he not always drop off?
no, he's just got a higher chance than anything else too. But so it's really strange because I think you can come to a game like Mega Man X and apply some of those genre concepts. I mean, there's no RPG elements in this, but that's why Metroidvania just as an idea is strange, because neither of the two of those games have RPG elements, and in fact, Metroid never developed them. It was always strictly the kind of like 2D style Zelda game.
So what do you mean by like RPG elements? Because I mean, I think
Stat
like,
systems,
Oh, gotcha.
like statistical growth and experience from enemies.
Yeah, okay. Because in a way, you are like upgrading yourself.
Yeah, that's a much larger discussion about RPGs in general, and that's something that dates back in kind of almost an annoying way to like some of the early days of internet, like sites trying to define what an RPG is, because they'd get all up in arms about Zelda being listed amongst RPGs, which
Call that more of an action RPG now.
well, technically speaking, you'd just call it an action adventure game, not an RPG.
Oh, wow.
Because, and this is, it's all sort of arbitrary. And one of the kind of go-to arguments was always, well, I'm playing a role, which is like kind of dumb in the sense that like you're always playing a role, like no matter what you're doing. If you're not you're playing a role. So which that was kind of like the I'm smart and on the internet. Look at this thing I noticed sort of way of getting attention. But
I'm smart.
I am so smart. But
You have 5 bajillion lives now.
yeah. So this is gonna look really weird once I get to what I'm gonna be doing.
Okay.
Oh, do I need to have full sub tanks? Don't remember.
Is there like a boss or something?
No, that you'll see when we get there. Oh, that was handy. But so like really the defining factor for an RPG is, or at least in terms of that kind of like definition stuff, is do you have a stat system?
Okay.
In the like D&D style of stat system, like do you have like experience points that are accumulated through kind of an abstraction via quests and enemies and whatever that then steadily grow your power level as a result of accumulating them.
Okay.
And now, you know, from the back end of a game, from a design perspective, I mean, that's the only real functional difference between like a Final Fantasy and a Zelda is that one is segmented off. So like I do a thing and I get a heart container in Zelda, and then numerically it increases the amount of health I have, right? So like it's abstracted that just on a different scale, as opposed to like doing it incrementally. I don't need to do this, but what the hell.
Toast that butt.
And so that kind of was what led to a lot of those kinds of arguments, was like, well, it doesn't have a stat system, so it's not a real RPG. Anyway, that it's interesting that that's kind of become connected to the concept of yeah, this is going to look really weird because we're going to do this same thing like a couple times in a row. This is why we're collecting lives.
Why did you just do that?
You'll see.
Okay. Did you like miss something?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
It's a hidden thing.
Baller.
But so, I guess all of that to say, like, talking about genre and kind of like asking where Mega Man falls, this is sort of an interesting start to hybridization, because historically you'd put Mega Man in the same category as Castlevania, I think, like the original Castlevanias. Even though the original Castlevanias moved slower, they were more methodical, whereas Mega Man was far more damn it. I don't think that'll count. Whereas Mega Man was like far more methodical. Or I'm sorry, Mega Man was far more action-oriented and quick. So it's weird to think about this type of Mega Man where they still keep the kind of regimented levels, right? Like, I'm still choosing a boss to go fight, but it's like on a spectrum of how much exploration I'm doing, we've like seriously moved the bar several inches toward yeah, okay, that should be good. Several inches back toward like the Metroidvania side, where you need to come back into a stage and re-explore stuff for things you couldn't get previously, because that is totally in the Metroid range.
Well, yeah, because I remember Metroid. Now, I remember playing Super Metroid because I rented it from Blockbuster. But I was too young. I just wasn't smart. I just was too young to really comprehend what the fuck was going on in that game.
There's a lot to keep track of, especially if you didn't have
No.
resources like magazines or other things kind of telling you.
Yeah, I didn't really enter the like gamey game sphere until like the N64 era. And then maybe even more to a larger extent the PlayStation 2 era. What the fuck is going on? What are you doing?
Just trust me.
No, I do. It's just
This is like the weirdest secret, and I mean,
Okay.
I didn't discover this on my own. genuinely curious who actually discovered this secret on their own, because it's like, it's so obtuse in how you would discover it. Because, like, I guess you could accidentally do it if you were trying to get that one little energy thing over and over again, but there are far more efficient ways to get energy to, like, fill up sub-tanks or whatever, that I cannot imagine why you would accidentally stumble across this.
It's like one of those things. I remember somebody finding something with, like, Mortal Kombat and wait. Oh. What?
Look at how he's dressed.
He has a... He looks like Ryu.
Uh-huh. I give you a special present. Now enter the capsule, please.
Wow, just one line this time. Doc Ock, or what's his name?
Dr. Light.
Oh.
And here we go. Silence.
Oh my god.
Hadouken! That will one-shot anything in the game.
Oh, well, this is about to get a lot quicker.
You have to have full health to use it, though.
Okay. So it's like the little Zelda light swords.
Hadouken.
That's pretty cool.
Hadouken!
He actually... Michael.
Hadouken!
Come
Next
on.
time on Quick Cut. Hadouken!
I quit.